Coming up this week on Archer's Choice.
And one arrow, one beaming baby with a hell laser on it.
Welcome to this week's Archer's Choice, and well, guess what? It's Moose Mania time, baby, up at McMillan River Adventures, and we can't wait to share this two-part series with you.
Am I allowed to talk this week?
You are now.
Oh, okay. Well, and we kind of went out of the office.
Yep.
And we came up to Chatfield, Minnesota to go through the Pope and Young Museum. It's really awesome. If you're into bow hunting or love archery or any of it, this is a place you really need to go. And we're going to share a whole bunch with you.
So there's a lot going on, and don't forget, the lucky logo today is Nikon, baby.
So look for the little yellow square that says Nikon, and at the end of the show, we'll tell you what you need to do with it.
Some cool stuff.
Should we get in?
Let's go check the museum out.
Let's go.
This week again, these next 2 weeks are all about Moose Mania.
Yes.
McMillan River Adventures, hunting with Don Lind, and I mean, just showing you what the ultimate hunt is.
Right, but it's also taking you through the Pope and Young Museum. There's so much in here. I mean, you have the 29 species of slam, North America. We're going to take you through the pioneer bow hunting footsteps.
Wow.
I got a big sign behind you.
Yeah, it's like,
that,
wow, I didn't know you could say that much.
But I mean, it all goes back. I mean, we've got Ishii, Fred Bear, Pope and Young, Glen St. Charles. I mean, there's so much
Ben Pearson,
history.
I mean, Howard Hill.
Right.
Everything is here. And I mean, what's cool is...
And there's so much to show you.
And anyone who's flung an arrow, and you know what I'm talking about. I mean, I'm going to get goose pimples talking about this because the first time we saw this was at the Pope and Young convention this past, this year, and it's absolutely amazing. And I mean, to see the artifacts, to see the history of archery.
All the old all the broadheads and everything, it's crazy. But we also need to get to Moose Mania.
Yes.
Got lots and lots of moose.
Action as usual. You know, it's funny because normally when you go to a place and you hunt it for a few years, sometimes the hunting doesn't get as good.
Right.
This is just...
It keeps getting better and better. MRA, baby.
Yukon. You know it. Tomorrow we leave for the Yukon with McMillan River Adventures, and we can't wait. And I have the new carbon element.
Recognize anything on my bow? It's in Max 1, baby. I'm fixing in Max 1.
I can tell you, in all of our travels, and I've been doing all this since the 80s. As RJ gets older, it gets harder. It gets harder to leave him, and I just can't wait for the day that he's shooting his Hoyt way, and he's like has the poundage, and he's ready to rock and roll with us. And then to finally meet up with Don, and we're getting our tags, we're getting all this, and it's Moose Mania, baby. We're waiting for the plane. We're in Faro. And this is pretty much the base camp for you guys.
That's right, yep. Yeah, things come and go pretty much out of Faro,
So we're waiting for the plane, it'll pick us up, and it's gonna take us into a new area. One of the things you gotta remember is when you start to go on these type of hunts, you gotta have the right gear, and you have to have it packed right. Jackie, Don, we're all helping, loading up the planes, putting in the jerry cans, and it's just funny because it seems like you start on this big commercial flight, and you start going smaller and smaller and smaller, but you know what the coolest thing is? When all of a sudden they fly over camp for that last turn, they come down, you land in the water, wouldn't give it up for nothing. We're in camp. We're on a new river system. Don, Darcy, and Leon, and we are pumped. Now it's time to get everything ready, and then we will crash. We will crash hard tonight.
Typical 10-day boat hunt consists of an early morning start with a hot breakfast, be on the water at daylight, traveling the shorelines, spotting and stopping and calling for moose, looking for a response. Some days you may return to camp for a lunch. Some days you may take a bagged lunch with you and just stay on the water all day, returning back to the main camp in the evening.
It's the first morning out here. We got, well, it's probably some frost on the ground. It's kind of chilly out here. We're up at the McMillan River Adventures, and it's dark out right now. It looks like the sun might be trying to get up there. It is about 5:45. And that's about it. I think I smell coffee. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. First day up the Yukon, McMillan River Adventures, there's nowhere I would rather be. I mean, we're floating down the river, we found a brand new fresh rut pit, new activity on it, and then just being able to be on the river, floating down, looking at the scenery. It can't get any better than this.
We drifted downriver in the late afternoon. We rounded a corner and we were just calling as we were drifting, and we heard a bull rattle doing some brush raking back in off the shoreline a ways. So we pulled over and stopped, checked the wind, got the wind right. While we were after that bull, we heard a bull in another location across the river. He sounded a lot more aggressive and receptive, so we went over and we started working him. Then we changed calling tactics and got him a little excited, and he tried to come across the river to us. The bull eventually found his way downstream to a lower bank, came back up, and came right into us. It was just the perfect setup. First day of the hunt, a very nice bull, but we decided to pass on him in hopes of finding, something just a little bit bigger.
Structure. I'm gonna hold out for something a little bit bigger. We're gonna have to try getting up quietly, walk towards town, and get back to the boat. The sun's going down. We gotta get off the river before dark.
We want to highlight an individual by the name of Ishi. He walked out of the wilderness in 1911. He's considered the last Stone Age person in all of North America. No matches, no steel, no gunpowder, nothing modern. They gave him the name Ishi, which means man in Yahi. They assigned a doctor by the name of Dr. Saxton Pope to take care of him. Ishi and Pope became real good friends, and Ishi taught Pope a lot about the Indian ways of hunting, how to sneak up on animals, how to use the calls, how to use the wind to your favor. Soon, two other guys joined their party, Will Compton and Art Young, and the four of them did a lot of hunting together and enjoyed each other's company. Ishi was the teacher, and the others were the students, and they learned from Ishi. But at that time, of course, all of their archery equipment had to be handmade. Their bows were handmade, their arrows, their broadheads were handmade, everything. So it was kind of a complete endeavor to hunt with a bow and arrow at that time.
It's day 2, and as we're heading up the river, we come around the corner, and here's a bull. And what do we gotta do? Be quiet, shut the motor off, get to the beach, and start a stalk. He was a good bull.
Yep. He's just standing right there, too.
Yeah, he's right there.
Yeah.
Right in those big pines.
There's nothing we can do but leave him alone and try him again tomorrow or right?
Are we going further
No,
up?
I was going to stop here. I was going to stop here.
There's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
We're actually kind of just drifting on back to camp, and we hear a bull calling. We get off the side there, we go to check it out. Well, there's 2 younger bulls, and I think our calling might have intimidated them. That was the end of that. They didn't want anything to do with us. The amount of wildlife that we witness when we're up there is amazing. I mean, there's wolf tracks everywhere. We actually saw a wolf up on a bank, and ducks. Oh my gosh, there's so many ducks. And then of course there's the beaver, where they float around the river and they see you and they smack that tail in the water. And scenery and wildlife, there's no better place.
That's why we go to McMillan River, really,
Yes.
is because those guys, the moose are there, and when you could pass up bulls like that.
Well, that little guy, well, he wasn't so little, but I mean,
No.
he came out, he was young. Not little, but young. And he came across the river, didn't walk up the state bank, went back, came around, showed up at like 18 yards.
He doesn't know how lucky he got
has
with those
no
bushes hanging
idea,
there.
'cause I mean, my vixen was just like, come on, pull me back, let's go. And I was like, oh, good, he stopped right there.
I was proud of you.
Thanks.
That's what it's about. It's fun. And, you know, we're sharing this with Ishi here at the museum.
Yeah,
And
he doesn't talk very much, so
he
it's kinda
probably had a
quiet.
wife like I do.
That's just not right.
You know, he
He's actually one of the last known primitive
thought to be
Indians, thought to be.
extinct,
Right.
you know, from the
The
Yahi
Yahi.
tribe. I hope we said that right, Yahi. But the crazy thing is I mean, he's who literally
Yep.
walked into civilization
Right, and Saxton Pope was
Doctor.
his physician.
and started, even though there was a language barrier.
Did you
you
get
know,
that? Pope. Do you know where that comes from? Pope and Young. Pope. Saxton Pope, which is next. But let's finish hunting moose.
You
Come
know
on.
what? I think I'm going to go back to the wilderness.
That would be good for you. Go on.
Ishi, I'm coming, buddy.
It's day 3 and we are heading upriver. We've got our gear with us just in case we get up far enough. We may end up staying overnight at the other camp up there. Well, as we're going, it is cold outside. We have frost. We haven't had frost yet. And as we go around one of the curves of the river, what do we spot? A big old bull standing there. And what do we need to do? Get off the boat, grab the bow, and get on stalking.
The wind was perfect. We had no difficulty tucking the boat into the shoreline quietly, got set up, and just advanced on him, and he cooperated just the way he was supposed to.
Wait, don't push him. Oh, he's right coughing. Oh my God. I just threw my arrow down so I didn't stab you. He didn't go. My shot was what, 18 yards maybe, and
Was it even that?
maybe that, and now my leg. Oh, and one arrow, one beaming baby with a Hellraiser on it.
I don't think it was 18 yards, but we'll find out in a hurry.
It might not have been, and maybe I was hitting the branches behind him. I don't even know. Oh, he didn't go. What would you say? 30 yards, 40 yards?
Maybe 30.
Oh my gosh. I see him.
Oh yeah, you can see his antlers sticking up.
It's amazing how quickly everything can change. First, we're freezing on the boat. The next thing you know, we see this bull, we go after him, I shoot him, he goes 30 yards, and he's down. And now we're gonna go walk up on him, and I mean, I'm starting to sweat now, and there's the adrenaline is pumping, and I am shaking, and Don is shaking, and Ralph, we're all high-fiving, and that's a good way to get your heart going.
Ooh, roll.
Look at those fronts, huh?
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Ooh, roll.
That's a big old bull too. Huh?
Yeah.
He's how bad his body is. His body's huge.
Well, go ahead and touch him. You gotta be very touch him.
Oh my gosh. Look at. Oh my gosh. Oh. Look at him. Oh. When I saw him. Yeah, he's got a non-typical point back here.
Oh, does he?
He does. Look at. He's got a point in the middle of his.
Cool. Yeah.
Oh. Oh. Vixen baby. Look at that. What do you think? Maybe he's not 32.
Widest point is there.
Yeah.
And then he's got a good wide one here.
Look at I mean, he's got weird things going. Look at this. This whole side's a little weird. Look at this one. It blades up. Don, again, up here at McMillan River Adventures. You guys rock. Oh my gosh. Oh, now I'm stuck to you. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I think my Hellraiser kind of did a job on him, huh?
Yeah, very quick. Very
Wow.
wonderful job.
He's a beautiful bull up here at McMillan River Adventures, and I can't thank you guys enough, all you guys, having Ralph and I up here doing this hunt, enjoying the Yukon. We've had some great encounters, and now to finish my hunt with this beautiful bull. What a great day, what a great trip. Goodness. Hoi baby, check this out. 57 pounds, 26-inch draw, 1 arrow, 1 Hellraiser, 1 Beeman, and this baby didn't go 30 yards. All you boys can have all those other Hoyts. This is the bow for me. Thanks, guys. My moose is down, and he is huge, and now the fun stops. Now, as soon as you release that arrow, it becomes work. We end up quartering him out. Don, we helped him get everything back on that boat, and because those boats are so much smaller to be able to go on that shallow water, there's only allowed so much weight on it, otherwise it's not gonna make it back down the river to camp. So he took off. He said he'd be back in about 2 hours. We went and we started getting driftwood, had a little fire right there on the shore of the river, and I got a little more nervous when we saw the big grizzly track about 50 yards away from where we're sitting, but it's okay. Started watching our watches. Don came back about an hour before dark, and all was happy.
You did it again.
Oh my gosh,
How
he's
cool was
beautiful.
that? Don and you?
65 inches wide again.
65.
Woo, he was huge. And then he had a drop tine on the back side of his antlers. I mean,
That was really cool, I admit
going around
that.
the corner and seeing him there, and then just getting off the boat and Don doing his thing, and it was pretty exciting. And he didn't.
Thank you.
Yeah, and he didn't go 30 yards. I mean, that was Hellraiser's baby. That was cool. I'm so glad that smaller bull earlier in the week stopped behind that brush.
Yes, that brush saved you.
Yes, it
Because
did.
I could have beat that one, but this one is going to be
But they don't
tough.
know if you beat or not. You have to wait till next week.
Next week.
Come back next
Moose
week. We got
Mania
more
Part
Moose
2.
Mania. Yes.
Not only up in the Yukon with Don Lind and McMillan River Adventures,
Right.
but also we are still here at the museum, at the Pope and Young Museum, and we are
Right.
still going to share with you more stuff, and we're bringing the experts in to even help out a little bit.
Are we?
Yes, because
Because you don't know anything. Hey, if you saw the lucky logo this week, it was Nikon. You gotta log on to archerschoice.com.
the best optics in the world,
Click on the lucky logo button, and someone's gonna win some great stuff from Nikon.
Nikon.
Yeah,
Maybe an Archer's Choice rangefinder.
I think it is.
It is,
Yeah.
wow.
Cool. Hey, we want to thank you for watching us this week. Don't forget, next week, Moose Mania again. More Pope and Young. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Same time,
Same channel,
right here on
on
the
the
Archer's
Archer's Choice.